Sometimes life really is a mystery. It can twist and turn in ways that make us scratch our heads and wonder why things happen the way they do. Let's think about it for a moment. Life can give you 5 beautiful children, but then just as quickly, it can take them all away while you watch helplessly. That's the kind of heartbreak that no one expects, and it's enough to make you question everything. But then, on the flip side, life can hand you one child and let you grow old with that child by your side. Watching as they learn, laugh, and grow taller than you is the kind of thing that makes you want to stop and appreciate every single moment. It's a gift, right? And if you think that's strange, how about this? Life can also give you the perfect marriage filled with love, support, and joy, everything you've dreamed of. But for some reason, children are not a part of that picture. You may wonder why, but no human may have the true answer. Or how about this scenario? Imagine you have beautiful, healthy kids, but no marriage in sight. Society might tell you that's not how it's supposed to be, but who decides what's normal, really? You and kids can still have a life filled with laughter, hugs, and plenty of fun, whether or not there's a ring on your finger. Then there's the couple who has it all: love, kids, and money. But here's the catch. Their kids need constant medical care. Imagine the sleepless nights, the hospital trips, the worry. Yes, they have what looks like a perfect life, but behind the scenes they're fighting battles no one sees. Life isn't done surprising us yet. You might have a stack of impressive academic papers, degrees, certificates, qualifications that would make anyone proud, but still you find yourself unemployed. What's up with that? You did everything right, and yet the job just hasn't come. It's frustrating, and it makes you question what all that hard work was for. But here's the funny part. Life can also go in the completely opposite direction. Some people never set foot in a college classroom or get any fancy certificates, but they end up incredibly successful in business. They seem to have a natural knack for making money, and while others are drowning in student loans, they're off enjoying their hard-earned wealth. Go figure, right? So what's the takeaway from all this? Life is unpredictable. It doesn't follow a straight line, and it definitely doesn't follow a rule book. We can plan all we want, but life has its own ideas about how things should go. One moment you're up, the next you're down, and sometimes it feels like you're spinning in circles. It's almost like life enjoys keeping us on our toes. Now here's where the fun comes in. Imagine life is like a board game and you've got your dice in hand. You roll the dice expecting to move forward, but plot twist, you land on a spot that sends you backward instead. You grumble, laugh at the craziness, and roll again. The key is to keep playing the game no matter where the dice take you. Sure, you might land on a lose-a-turn spot, but there's always the chance to roll again and move forward. Life has a sense of humor, and if we can't laugh along with it, we'll spend our days frustrated and confused. Sometimes, when you're standing in the middle of a mess, the only thing you can do is throw your hands up, laugh, and say, "Okay, life, you got me this time." And that's okay. There's power in laughter. There's freedom in not taking everything so seriously. Think about the story of Job in the Bible. Talk about someone who had it all and lost it in the blink of an eye. Job was a wealthy man with a big family and everything he could ever want. But then disaster struck. He lost his children, his health, his wealth, everything. Job could have thrown in the towel and given up, but he didn't. Even in the face of unimaginable loss, he held on to hope. And guess what? In the end, life turned around for Job and he was blessed even more than before. What's the lesson here? Life may knock you down, but that doesn't mean you won't rise again. And let's not forget about Joseph. His own brothers sold him into slavery. If that's not a low point, I don't know what is. Joseph's life took so many unexpected turns: imprisonment, betrayal, but eventually he became a powerful leader in Egypt. It's like life was playing a long game with him, teaching him patience, resilience, and trust in the process. So, whether life is throwing you a curveball or handing you a surprise gift, just remember, it's all part of the ride. Stay humble. Life can give and it can take away, but the beauty is in how we navigate those twists and turns. Laugh when you can, cry when you need to, but never lose sight of the fact that life is a wild, unpredictable journey, and that's what makes it so fascinating. At the end of the day, life doesn't make sense sometimes. It's like a puzzle with pieces that don't always fit together right away. But maybe, just maybe, when we step back and look at the bigger picture, we'll see how all those random pieces make up something beautiful. I'd like to illustrate these ideas with a story that may help us appreciate the unpredictable nature of life. There was a man named Jack who was known for having his life all figured out, or so it seemed. Jack had a plan for everything. He knew what he wanted to do, where he wanted to live, and even what color he'd paint his house once he made enough money to buy it. Life was supposed to be straightforward for Jack. But as we've already seen, life doesn't always stick to the script. Jack had it all lined up. He graduated top of his class, landed a great job, and even married the love of his life, Emma. For the first few years, everything was perfect. They bought a house, got a dog, and things were just going smoothly. Every weekend, they'd host BBQs for their friends, and everyone would comment on how lucky Jack was. Jack would smile and say, "Luck? It's all in the plan." But life decided to throw him a curveball. One day Jack lost his job. It wasn't his fault. His company downsized, and despite all his hard work, he was let go. At first, Jack shrugged it off. He was confident he'd find another job in no time. "No big deal," he said with his usual calm demeanor. But weeks turned into months and no job offers came through. The bills were piling up, and Jack found himself growing more frustrated. To make matters worse, Emma found out she was pregnant during this time. Now, normally that would be wonderful news, but with Jack unemployed, the stress hit them both hard. Still, they kept a positive attitude and thought, "We'll get through this." Now here's where life gets really wild. Just when they were about to lose hope, Jack got a call from a big company. He nailed the interview, got the job, and just like that, things started looking up again. He and Emma celebrated, knowing they could now support their growing family. But then another twist. Baby Henry was born prematurely. He needed extra medical attention, and Jack and Emma found themselves back in the hospital more times than they ever imagined. They were grateful to have their baby boy, but they couldn't help but feel overwhelmed by the sudden changes in their life. Sleepless nights, doctor's appointments, and constant worry became their new normal. Despite the challenges, Jack learned something unexpected. He was happier than he'd ever been. Sure, he was tired and things were tough, but every time Henry smiled, it was like sunshine on a rainy day. The funny thing is, Jack realized that even though life hadn't followed his perfect plan, he was exactly where he needed to be. He started finding humor in the little things, like when baby Henry would sneeze and scare himself, or how their dog would get jealous and try to climb into Henry's crib. One day during a checkup, the doctor said something Jack would never forget. "You know, Jack, life is like this hospital. There are people here who are celebrating new beginnings, and others who are saying goodbye to loved ones. You just never know what's going to happen next. But the ones who keep going, keep laughing, and keep loving, they're the ones who make it through." Jack took those words to heart. He began to see life as this big, unpredictable adventure. Sometimes it would hand him challenges, but other times it would hand him beautiful moments. He started laughing at the little missteps along the way, like the time he tried to change Henry's diaper for the first time and ended up getting peed on. "Parenthood," he'd chuckle, wiping himself off. And wouldn't you know it, after a couple of years, baby Henry grew stronger and healthier. He was running around the house, causing all sorts of mischief. Jack and Emma's life had found its rhythm again, though it looked nothing like Jack's original plan. The BBQs were still there, but now they included toddlers running around, toys scattered everywhere, and much more noise. But Jack wouldn't trade it for anything. Here's where it gets even funnier. Just when Jack thought things had finally settled down, life threw him another curveball. Emma won the lottery. Not the huge, life-changing jackpot, but enough to pay off their mortgage and set them up comfortably for the future. Jack laughed and shook his head. "Of course that would happen," he said. "Life, you sure are funny." The moral of Jack's story? Life doesn't always go the way you planned. Sometimes it gives you more than you expect, and other times it gives you less. But through it all, you learn to roll with the punches, laugh at the surprises, and enjoy the journey. Jack learned that the key to life wasn't having everything figured out. It was being able to adapt, to laugh in the face of challenges, and to find joy in the unexpected. So, keep rolling the dice, enjoy the game, and remember, it's okay to not have all the answers. Life's mystery is what makes it magical. Stay humble, stay curious, and keep moving forward one step at a time.